Hello, everybody. You can call me Hunch. If you're new here, welcome. We talk about mostly stacks. We talk about Bitcoin DeFi. We talk about TRAC infrastructure. I've been a big Bitcoin DeFi bull. I've had a thesis for a long time. That thesis has been stacks, all those various things under it, TRAC, Ghosty Cash, all the good stuff. We've talked about the ETH Bitcoin chart. So we're going to be talking about today all the things going on in the market, how to make sense of it, right? When I called the top, or local top, or whatever you want to call it, that's happening right now, I said for 6 to 24 months, we're going to chop sideways or go down or enter a bear market, whatever it was. I said, okay, whiff on dome is definitely the top. This is ridiculous. It reminds me of too many past cycles, right? Everybody's saying, no, 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 right? So consensus was, we're going back up. I posted multiple times and I was getting fighting words and people were getting mad at me. Okay, so I absolutely knew that it was the top. So we're going to be talking about what I think about all that and just continue on with it. So anyway, reputable guy, Checkmatey, he is finally agreeing with me. There's people that are finally starting to say, okay, this is a chop consolidation for 6 months. They call it whatever they call it, a chop consolidation. So they're basically saying people are going to get bored and walk away and miss the other half of the rise, right? How big that is, I don't know. So I think that's important. I do think that that's what's going to happen. I think the most important metric for that is coin days destroyed. So long-term holders are now not selling. They say, okay, these prices are too low. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to accumulate again. Even myself, like, why would I sell down here? I think Bitcoin is worth way more. It's not going to change my life that much to sell that now or wait 6 months or 2 years, right? We're in this for a long term. There's a whole bunch of implications if you do sell, so on and so forth. So very important. So what do I think? I think ETH Bitcoin will continue to go down until there's some type of catalyst. I've been saying this for a year and a half. This thing will not go up. It's a terrible investment right now. It's been a terrible investment. People say, oh, it's breaking out. Nope, doesn't. Oh, it's breaking out. No, even like people like Chris Berninsky, who I respect, super brilliant, been completely wrong about this. I think this continues to go up until ETH shows some type of utility, right? New utility, like a new type of NFT. They can show that the ETF can get approved. It's not a security, so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I think ETH has headwinds for, right? A competition from Bitcoin, again, for smart contracts, so on and so forth. So anyway, let's talk about what's going on today. Udi and Eric, they're, they do Taproot Wizards. They do the cat thing, Quantum Cats, right? They're proposing this thing called OpCat. There's a lot of technicalities to it, but basically they're trying to bring BitVM or some type of smart contract functionality to the base layer by proposing the idea, testing it out with all the lead programmers for the Bitcoin network or the architects of the Bitcoin network, whatever you want to call it. So they talked about this today, and I think I got to go back. Here we go. We're going to show a clip about what he says about stacks, which is pretty important. Okay, so I think I'm at the right spot. What is it? 109, 109.07. Okay.
Into like a small detour into.
I want to know if Stacks a real layer 2, an Eric Wall definition of like what we just described layer 2 or not, and does it have a path to become one?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. So the short answer is no, absolutely not.
Okay, so this is really important. This caused a lot of FUD in my brain. Like, okay, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree here. Maybe Stacks is not the way, right? How are they going to fix this problem if we do get this BitVM? Are we ever gonna truly bridge our assets to L1 on Stacks? Is it always going to be a separate chain, right? Does it even matter? Is SBTC decentralized enough where you can peg in, peg out and not worry about it? Not worried about the permission side of it, right? That's what we want, permissionless, right? So there's a complexity to it like that, which he is defining as an L2, right? It's permissionless. It can seamlessly go to the base chain. It can adopt the security things. I'm not an expert on it, but this is this summary of it. So that's important to note, right? Because I've been in Stacks for the long term. I continue to be in it for the long term, right? So what is going on here is they posted a job to research how Stacks can adapt to this changing landscape of Bitcoin, right? Post Nakamoto. So I think maybe Eric, I don't know if he's has some type of ulterior motive, like he's got an L2, he's got VC money lined up for his L2. Whatever the case may be is, I don't know if it's FUD, if it's legitimate, it doesn't matter to me. What is Stacks doing to respond to it, right? This is super important, right? I tweet about this, like, does anyone actually care about Stacks, or like, do they want to see it succeed? I think most of these people that yell at me about WELSH or some other thing, don't even like pay attention to this stuff, how important this is for Stacks, like, and the chain, and like your stupid meme coin is never going to pump if we can't get a real use case out of this. We can't you know, offload the base chain in some way and make it more efficient, make it more useful, have this flourishing ecosystem. So very, very, very important. So let's go on. Let's talk about some of the other things. I really like TRAC still. I like TAP. I think it will continue to regain some of that momentum that it had a long time ago, right? It went from 20 cents when we started talking about it all the way to $8. It's come back. I think we will get another pump. I believe in this. A lot of builders, right? The Block Runner podcast, they're building stuff on it. A lot of people like Ghosty Cash and ORNJ said they're moving their products over. Traverse Labs is moving their stuff over to TAP from the TRAC, right? Some big VCs have bought TRAC. They're going to become validators, so on and so forth. So I think there's a lot of catalysts. I am not fading this. I absolutely think there is going to be another pump at some point, a sustained pump with the bull market, a big pump, but I could be wrong, right? I don't know. This has been part of my theoretical portfolio for a long time. You can see that this wedge, at some point, it's going to have to go back up, or it's just going to go to zero. I mean, what is it? This wedge has been like forming for 3 months. You know, maybe we keep going down for another 6 months, or wedging, or slowly, you know, consolidating here. Whatever the case may be. Ghosty Cash, I also really like. There is a lot of regulatory uncertainty with this, so please be careful. If you use it, don't use the what do you call it? The privacy feature. If you're in the United States, just be ultra cautious with this. Not financial advice, but they are. This reminds me of Trio, right? I said Trio. They do like the API for runes and ordinals and so on and so forth. I think they can integrate that into websites. Now Ghosty Cash is like becoming the ATM of the internet, where you can integrate their product into your product, right? Whether that's like a wallet where you want to swap chains or whatever. So for example, say you have a wallet with USDT in it and you want to go onto Telegram and use the Ton blockchain or whatever. The Ton blockchain or the Ton Telegram network could integrate something like Ghosty Cash, and you could, you know, bridge this from this and this to that, right? So this like seamless exchange, right? Now, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but to me, I can foresee, right, with my imagination, super utility with this type of program, right? No code widget, right? You can add this Ghosty Cash widget to your product. Insane, right? So it reminds me of Trio. I think this is a necessary product now, whether the tokenomics are bullish or not, or whatever it is. I think this is a necessary product. Now, I hope they don't get killed by competition, but this is part of my theoretical portfolio. Now, some other ones that I like, right, that I think could pump. If you look at Toncoin, it did this consolidation and then pump. I think Athena could do that, even though I don't like Athena. I think the Hayes guy who is backing this is kind of flip-flopping on a lot of things. I don't really trust what he says anymore. He's very intelligent, but I do think he has ulterior motives as well, right? He wants to pump the things that he's in, right? He's clearly in this. This will probably pump. It's at $1 billion market cap. So not a bad idea to look into it. Toncoin, right? This is at $23 billion market cap, $22 billion. I think that's absolutely out of control. What does this blockchain do? If someone wants to comment below, but I think it's interesting. I think you should continue to look at it. And then in terms of meme coins, I like all the runes. I like not on stacks. I think MOG is at a point where it wants to break up at some point, right? You can see this higher low down here. You know, I think it will take over the internet at some point. I don't know when. So maybe not a bad idea to have a little exposure to this. That's just my opinion, right? I don't know for sure, but whatever the case may be, good luck and Godspeed. So that's all I have to say. I do think we continue to chop. Maybe go up, maybe pump, who knows? But the most likely outcome is chop 6 months to 24 months. If you're not here and you missed the next leg up, I'm sorry. This is brutal. It's a very emotional process with this crypto. But if you want to make it, you got to go through these things. I mean, it's very hard to sell the top and the bottom, right? Take profits when you think you can or when you need to, or just ride it out. I don't know, whatever your style might be. I got a hunch. My hunch is that Stacks is going to be fine with all this. And you could call me Hutch.